Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to this live session about the Fulbright Foreign Student Scholarship Program, sponsored by the U.S. Department of State and implemented by Amideast. I am joined today by Mr. Handrian Balaki, who is the program officer at Amideast, and a number of Fulbright alumni who are also called Fulbright scholars, Ahmed Al-Janabi and Sana Kika, and hopefully we will be joined by more Fulbright alumni. I would like to first warmly welcome you all on behalf of the University of Germian and the Career Development Center. It's such a pleasure for us to host you today, Mr. Handrian and dear Fulbright alumni. And thank you for making time to deliver the presentation to our audience in Germian area. I would like to also tell the attendees that we will have a Q&A part, which is the question and answers part at the end of the session, where you can ask the guest speakers any questions that you have about Fulbright, about the application, and they will be answering your questions. You can either raise your hands or you can share the questions through the chat. I will hand over the session now to the guest speakers, and we will start with Mr. Handrian Balaki. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mamsta Drivan and Mamsta Nias. Thank you for your efforts on arranging the session. I'm Handrian Balaki from Amideast main office, and I'm joined by our two colleagues, two valuable alumni of Fulbright. We always believe that their contribution makes the session more informative, and we actually depend on them that they share their first-hand experience about life and study in the US. Because the program is so competitive, many people do not believe that the scholarship, the program exists, or they will be in doubt why there's no chance for me that I'm a strong candidate. But in the end of the day, when they apply and become part of the competition and getting considered for other steps, other stages of the program, then it will be clear to them that yes, this is a merit-based, very strong competition. So thank you so much, Ahmed and Sana. I would like you specifically, if you wish to get back to questions related to life and study of the about life and study in the US. Now I myself will get back to technical questions about the eligibility criteria, the application process, and other details about the program. And if you wish, there will be specific slides about enrichment seminars and specifically about life in the US, so you can even present them and I can run the slides for you from my side. So
just sorry to jump, but yeah, whenever you wish us to speak, yeah, we can share our experience. We're here to do that.
Sure, thanks so much. Thank you. But before I start with the presentation, I would like everybody to take note of their questions, because we would like first to finish the presentation and then take your questions one by one. You can raise your hand in the end of the session, and we will take your questions one by one. So the Fulbright program, namely Fulbright Foreign Student Program, is a program to study a master's degree for 2 years in the United States. So this program is sponsored by US government, Department of State, and Amideast is honored to administer the program, starting with the promotion and throughout all the different steps of the program, such as screening, nomination, selection, and admission to universities. So when it comes to saying Fulbright, it's not only about academic studies, but the program has other purposes. So the program is designed to foster mutual understanding through educational cultural exchange, and the program is aiming to promote it hopes to create improved relations among nations, and it promotes leadership development, professional excellence, and mutual understanding. So the program was established in 1946, and it was named Fulbright to honor the senator of Arkansas of that time, James William Fulbright, to promote his vision for cooperation and mutual understanding between nations, because the start of that program was sometime after World War II, that they thought it will be good to have exchange programs and to bring together various students worldwide and bringing them and having them in a classroom to have a dialogue and to have a mutual understanding. So since that time, 400,000 Americans and international Fulbrighters from over 160 countries have benefited from the program. So one of the frequently asked questions is that what are the benefits of the program? The first, you will be having chance to experience life in the United States and share your unique culture, customs, traditions, and information about your traditions, and learn about customs and norms of Americans. Your tuition, living stipend will be covered by the program, as well as any academic allowances and travel funds. Another benefit is cultural and professional enrichment activities and joining. And if you will be lucky enough to be a Fulbrighter, you will be joining an elite group of professionals, students, and scholars from the globe. It's not only about finishing 2 years and then coming back to your home country, but you'll be having chance to stay connected with the network to be eligible for ADGs. We call them ADGs, Alumni Development Grants. For example, if you want to do a research, there are sometimes opportunities open for application. So you can conduct a research, and it's funded by it will be covered that time. So this will happen after you return home. So if you be a Fulbrighter, you will be gaining knowledge and skills that can contribute to your home country. You will be able to improve your English language skills. Although it is you are required to be having good English language skills, but it is different when you go to an English spoken country and you experience your language skills, you experience life there, and you practice your language skills. Then for sure you'll be having a better language proficiency. You having Fulbright on your CV, on your profile, will boost your opportunities for employment and for other opportunities. So as we mentioned, the only purpose of Fulbright is not just to study and just to stay in a classroom, but you'll be having chance to socialize with people, to meet people coming from different backgrounds and different nations. So do not forget, when mentioning Fulbright, so you should be remembering of mutual understanding and socializing with other people and knowing them and telling them about your culture. That's why Fulbrighters can be cultural ambassadors. So what can I study under Fulbright? You can study almost all of the specializations, with the exception of medical clinical fields of study. So this is we cannot run you through all on each and single field of study, but this is to show you that the admission process will be diverse and you can pursue different fields of study. And there are a few exceptions that I will tell you in the next slide. So the exceptions are medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, and nursing. So you cannot study those fields of the shown fields of study under Fulbright program for specific reasons, such as because those studies have a clinical component, and Fulbright J1 visa recipients are not allowed to interact with patients while being in the US, and they cannot prescribe or administer medication. So, however, it doesn't mean that if you are coming from a medical background, there are no chances for you, but there are fields of study that you can pursue, such as public health, nursing administration, or nursing education, as well as neuroscience, pharmacology, physiology, psychology. So these are fields of study, and neuroscience as also. So these are fields of study that you can pursue under Fulbright. So the fields of study you choose should not exceed 2 years, because the 2 years is the period of time that that the Fulbright grant will be offered to you, and then it should not have any clinical component. For example, you can study pharmacology, but you cannot study clinical pharmacology. So what's included and what's not included? Tuition and mandatory fees. For example, if you go to the US and study on your own, it will be very expensive. But if you will be lucky enough to get the scholarship, then all expenses related to your academic studies will be covered by the program. Also, a predetermined monthly living stipend based on location in the US. So why it's called a predetermined? Because it's being calculated by program experts on how much you need. So the amount will be more than enough for any individual living and studying in a specific location, unless the individual has bad spending habits. So the amount set to be offered will be more than enough. For example, if one of you happens to be going to, let's say, Washington, it will be different than going to New York or Oklahoma, for example, because the amount that's offered to you will be based on living expenses and the standards of life in that place. Book equipment and travel allowance also is another benefit. So book allowance is will be offered to you in each semester, and equipment allowance is an amount around $500 that most of the students will use it to buy a laptop, and a paid round trip ticket will be provided to you. So paid a round trip, because at the you'll be it's for your travel at the beginning of the grant from your home country to the United States, and in the end of the program from the United States back to your home country. So only two times within the two-year period of time. However, if you decide to go on a vacation or to visit your family or your friends from another country, then it's not covered by the program. Paid university provided health insurance and other benefits. So God forbid, if something happens to you while you are on the program, And there's a health insurance that takes care of the expenses related to your medical needs or medical expenses. So additional living stipend for any reason are not included. So why Fulbright? So as it's clear to you that Fulbright is one of the most prestigious scholarship programs in the world. And if you become a Fulbrighter, if you will be considered, you will be joining a network of alumni that they are an elite group. So I do have some statistics to share with you. For example, 57 Fulbright alumni from 14 countries have been awarded the Nobel Prize, and 82 alumni have received Pulitzer Prizes, and 37 Fulbright alumni have served as heads of state or government. So even in Iraq, a good number of Fulbright alumni are now working in important positions in both within the government and the private sector and within NGOs as well. So to be a Fulbrighter is being a Fulbrighter. There is a lifetime opportunity, and it will change your life, and it will open other doors for you. So also, as we mentioned in the previous slides, that you will be able to act as a cultural ambassador, and you will be the one to represent your country, because it happens many times that you are the only one from the same country going to a specific state. So it's your chance to sorry for the interruption. So it's your chance to represent your country in the best way, and to be able to correct the misconceptions originated from media or from false news. So yeah, and it's part of bridging and more mutual understanding. So if you will be a Fulbrighter and you complete your degree under the program, then you will be able to return to Iraq as a leader. So leader doesn't mean only a political leader, but leader in different sectors of life, such as being a leader in the field of education, in the field of science and technology, or a business leader, a social leader. So am I eligible to apply? The first eligibility criteria is that applicants must be Iraqi and living inside of Iraq throughout all the stages of the program, starting with application selection and through placement. So Iraqis outside the country are not eligible to apply. Dual citizenship is acceptable on a condition that one of the nationalities should not be American, because Americans are not eligible to apply for Fulbright. So having a bachelor's degree from a university that's recognized by Iraqi Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research is another requirement. You should be possessing strong academic background, but this doesn't mean that there's a specific GPA requirement. But because this program is a merit-based, very competitive program, therefore candidates with stronger academic credentials are always preferred. Having at least 2 years of full-time experience after graduation is a must, and there are no exceptions. The experience should be full-time and should be after the graduation. Applicants must be proficient in English in a way to be able to get at least 80 of IB TOEFL, which is equivalent to 6.5 of IELTS. However, this doesn't mean that you should be concerned about not having a score report now. So, in other words, candidates with or without IB TOEFL score can submit now. So, lack of TOEFL will not negatively affect your application. But if your application is moving to the next stage, then you will be contacted and you will be asked to provide the program staff with your IB to TOEFL, or you will be invited to attend and you will be registered by Amideast, and the test fees, you'll be registered to take an IB to TOEFL, and the test fees will be covered by the program. So you don't have to pay that time, but because the test fees will be covered by the program. Regarding LTE program, in the next upcoming slides, I will explain it to you. What is LTE program? So writing original research objective and personal statement. So these essays are very important, and they are a very important sections of your online application. For example, everybody can have letters of recommendation. Everybody can have a CV to upload or to fill out the personal information section. So this is equal to everybody. However, writing 2 essays in a way that makes you different is what makes you stand out. So it's very important that in those essays, you will be able to write in a way not to plagiarize, and make sure that your essays are pure from your minds and your hearts. We will also talk about plagiarism in the upcoming slides. It happened in the past years that qualified applicants were disqualified because of plagiarism. So it's very important that you do not plagiarize. And there are also specific slides about plagiarism. We can briefly talk about it later. So clear commitment to return to Iraq after completion of studies, another eligibility criteria. For example, because we need to be clear with you in the beginning, because we want to respect your time and efforts, and we need to tell you this in the beginning. Applications with intentions to immigrate will be disqualified. So you need to be careful of that. And yes, you only need to know this ahead of time. Who cannot apply? Amideast staff and their employees of U.S. Department of State or USAID and their immediate family members are not eligible to apply during the period of their employment and until 1 year after termination of their employment. For example, I and my immediate family members cannot apply because I work on the program and I work for Amideast. That's why I cannot apply. And this is the transparency of the program. So applicants from all backgrounds, including those with disabilities, are encouraged to apply. So irrespective of your background, your mother language, your worldview, your belief, you are welcome to apply. So LTE program, long-term English language program, is specifically designed for those applicants that are having outstanding applications, but their English language proficiency is a bit lower than what is required what's required by the program. For example, the least required score, the minimum score for Fulbright is 80 of TOEFL. If you have a very strong application and having 676, for example, and it is not acceptable, but the program considers that you have a very good application, in that case, you will be considered for an LTE program in the United States. So. LTE programs are intensive English language training for Fulbright applicants who need to improve their English skills. So this program is not open to public. You should first be a Fulbright nominee, but there's no guarantee if you will be a nominee and you will be considered for LTE. But this is a condition. This is a condition in order to be an LTE nominee. You should be first a Fulbright nominee. So that's why participants must first apply to the Fulbright program and then be nominated by Amideast for LTE. So nomination is based on the applicant's most recent IBT score and then the English language requirements of their proposed study program, because English language requirement from a study program to another study program may be different. Although it's fixed for Fulbright, it is 80, but like different, more competitive study programs may require more competitive scores. Okay, what's the benefit of LTE program? Okay, the goal of LTE is to improve applicants' likelihood of securing admission at a US university. On average, participants will be able to increase their TOEFL scores by 20%. Okay, so I would like to hand over stage to one of our alumni colleagues. Ahmed or Sana, feel free to present this slide if you wish to talk about the enrichment seminars and your experience with the enrichment seminars, and share and feel free to add any other comments.
Yes, hi all. Thank you for inviting me to this session. I'm Ahmed Al-Janabi, and I'm here to share with you my personal experience as a recipient of Fulbright Foreign Student Program for the period between 2017 to 2019. As Handrin mentioned, the main objective of the Fulbright program is to strengthen mutual understanding between the US and other nations through enabling students and the professionals to receive world-class education in the United States and its universities and institutions. However, participants get so much more, such as connecting with other researchers in the US, attending conferences, enrichment seminars that are related to their field of study, and sometimes even the opportunity to gain hands-on experience through training programs and internships. Not to mention developing better understanding about the American culture and the American education system. So me, for example, I received the grant in 2017, and I joined Ball State University in Indiana as a research assistant and as a graduate student where I studied city planning. And there are like many other related topics, such as like economy, policy, and decision-making. And at the same time, I was working with my classmates and professors to develop like community development plans for small cities and towns across Indiana. And during summer, I took advantage of that period of time. And during summer break, as part of my program requirements, I was allowed by Amideast officers to apply to work as a research assistant at one of the best park systems in Minnesota and in the United States. There I gained firsthand experience and was able to pick many skills there, like things that are related to my field of study, of course, by observing and working with senior planners and the project managers. I also received support from Amideast team in Washington, D.C. to attend the American Planning Association National Conference in San Francisco in 2019, which helped me not only to learn about the topics that I wanted to learn about, but also informed me about the emerging topics in the field of planning. And it was a unique opportunity to connect with other students and researchers. The enrichment seminars were very important to me. We were like a group, the students who like have similar fields of study, and were sent to Washington, DC, and to St. Louis. And we were like discussing and learning about things that are related to our field of study, and at the same time related to the hot topics in the United States. So as you see, Fulbright program is a great opportunity for career development and personal growth. So if you meet the program requirements, I highly encourage you to apply as soon as possible. Also feel free to ask me any question related to the program. And thank you again for the invitation, and wish you all good luck.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Thank you. Sure. Just to add a little bit to this slide. So enrichment seminars are for Fulbright first year program. So these seminars bring together different alumni from Fulbright alumni from different states. For example, Ahmed was in Indiana and someone else was in another state. So they bring them together in Washington, DC. And so in that case, the participants will be having the opportunity to experience another location of the US, and they will be attending lectures and developing better understanding on different topics, as Ahmed said, live. And then participating in different activities, community engagement, and community service, host dinners, river cleanups, and other volunteering and extracurricular activities. So I'll share with you a few pictures in the next upcoming slides. So these are groups, a group of Fulbright alumni. Fulbright student is in a food packaging. Probably it is food packaging for poor families, let's say, for the indigent people. And then another group of Fulbright students in a host dinner. Another Fulbright student in an outside outdoor activity, and another Fulbright student meeting a government official in Philadelphia. Another Fulbright student talking in an enrichment seminar. So this slide is about the diversity. ECA is Educational and Cultural Affairs Office of U.S. Department of State, the sponsor of this program. So they, this is the statement by them that they welcome candidates from different backgrounds, regardless with their race, color, national origin, sex, age, geographic location, socioeconomic status, religion, and so on. So this slide tells us that everybody is welcome to apply, and the program appreciates the diversity and a lot, and the Bureau is committed to fairness, equity, and inclusion. So regarding the disabilities, as we mentioned, applicants with disabilities are encouraged to apply. So if anyone among you has any disabilities, or if you know anyone with disabilities and if they are qualified but having disabilities, please share with them at least the program flyer, and even this info session or the program details, and encourage them to apply, because the program may provide grantees with disabilities with disability related accommodations on a case-by-case basis. For example, if someone has a physical impairment, or even developmental disability, psychiatric disorder, chronic health conditions, or even learning disability. So the program will be able to help providing accommodations for living and studying. So like in the last bullet point tells us that not all of the these cases of disability there will be accommodation for all cases of disability, but the program may provide. So it depends on the different cases, and it's a case by case. It's a case by case thing. So regarding the application process, what is required? So in order to apply, you don't need to visit any offices. You only need to have a laptop and an internet connection. You can apply anywhere. So you don't need to take a pile of papers to any offices. You just can apply at your convenience at home. So the online application is due on May 1st, 2022. And the first requirement is your online application to be filled out, and then the two essays, your personal statement and your research objective. In your research objective, make sure that you introduce yourself, list your achievements and what are your future goals, why would you like to study a specific field of study, and connect it with your academic background or your professional background. If your intended field of study doesn't match with your academic background, then your conditional professional experience will be enough. And then in your personal statement, because it shouldn't be only about your studies, but it can be personal, and it can be describing you and explaining a bit about your future goals, your extracurricular activities, your professional development endeavors, your career objectives in the future, and your other future goals. So copies of official transcript from all higher education institutions attended. For example, if you have a bachelor's, and you should be uploading your bachelor's certificate or transcript to prove that you have a bachelor's. Excuse me. However, if you have a master's and if you would like to pursue your second master's under the Fulbright program, it's acceptable. And in that case, you will have to upload your first master's certificate along with your bachelor's certificate. A resume, your CV is one of the requirements. Make sure that it is an American style CV because you are applying for an American program. And you may search on Google about the style of American CVs, or how you can structure American style CVs. For example, an American style CV should not have a photo on it, and you don't need to put a lot of personal information on your CV, such as you're married, your other family info, your religion, you don't need to provide this info in your CV, but you only need to put your email address and a phone number to be contacted. 3 letters of recommendation are required. You will have to invite your recommenders from your online application system. There's a recommenders section. So in that section, you enter their emails and then send an invitation, and they will be able to receive the invitation, and through that link provided, they will be able to access only the online application. They will be able to have access to the recommendations section, not having access to all of your application, but only to that section. So 3 letters of recommendation are required from your recommenders. And at this step, 2 will be acceptable. And if you will be considered, then we will be asking for the 3rd letter of recommendation. So be careful. Recommenders must be someone who know you on a professional level. They should not be your family members, friends, or colleagues. They should be either your university professors or your line manager at work. Another requirement is your Iraqi passport, a valid one. And for now, validity doesn't make an issue. You only need to prove that you are Iraqi. And medical history form is not required for now. And if you become a nominee, and we at Amideast work with each single nominee to have them submit their medical form. So it's not a requirement for now. So plagiarism is a serious academic offense, especially in the American educational system. And I believe it's not acceptable in other educational systems. And if plagiarism is detected anywhere in your application or even in your supporting documents, you will be immediately disqualified. And I believe that most of you or all of you know what plagiarism is. It is copying from somewhere and without giving credit to the author. And it is copying someone else's work, ideas, or borrowing text word for word and copying from a source, and then it is considered as plagiarism. In order to avoid plagiarism, you need to be giving credit to the author using different methodologies and citations, or like using references and doing enough in-text citation. So plagiarism is like stealing or cheating. So it's a very serious academic offense, and it will not be tolerated. So these links are helpful resources about plagiarism. If you cannot catch this slide or catch the links in this slide, send an email to fulbrightiraq@amideast.org, and we will be more than happy to provide you with these links. However, if you search on internet, then you can find like hundreds and thousands of resources about plagiarism. Where students are placed. So again, like fields of study, we will not run you through each single university, but this is to show that the admission process is very diverse, and students are admitted to different universities in different parts of the United States. So this is a tentative timeline, and as you know, that May 1st is deadline for the program, and 1 month after the deadline in June, you will get your first notification, even if you are selected or not selected. For selection doesn't mean that the final selection, but being considered for the next step. So the good thing about Fulbright is that we never keep anybody waiting for results to come out, but even if you are selected or not selected, you will receive a notification. You will receive an email. So probably in July, you will be invited to July this year. You will be invited to take an ITP TOEFL. If you will be able to pass the application stage. So ITP stands for Institutional Testing Program. It is an unofficial type of TOEFL. You will be able to prove your English language proficiency. It's only an unofficial type of TOEFL. So this course will not be used for admission, and they are not official, but they will be used for tracking purposes, tracking your abilities. your skills. And then if you, again, your file, your application will be considered again for another layer of review. And if you will be selected again, you will be considered for an interview in August 2022. And then in fall 2022, it will be clear to you if you are a finalized ECA nominee. And I'm sorry, in October 2022, nominees will be notified, and a list of nominees will be submitted to ECA in early fall 2022. So placement and admission process starts in November 2022 and should be finished by March 2023, so next year. And if any one of the applicants will be considered as an LTE nominee, must be able to start their LTE program in January, and it should be finished by May 2023. So LTE nominees should be departing before anybody else, because they have an additional component to finish. And then based on the successful completion of the LTE, then they will be considered again for their academic studies in fall 2023. So finalists will be informed of placement decision late April to May 2023. Visa application process begins in April 2023, and then the pre-academic programs will start in June to August 2023, and they may be virtual, and the real and actual academic programs will begin in August or September 2023. So September 2023 will be that time that you will be required to travel to the United States to start your academic studies should you become a finalized nominee. So this tentative timeline tells us that the process is lengthy enough, and that's why we ask everybody to be patient enough and be able to meet the deadlines and to commit to program requirements such as attending interviews, sitting for a test, or any other commitment, and providing additional supporting documents if required. So this is a lengthy process, and it requires a hard work, dedication, and patience. So for more information, you can go click this link, and it will take you on US Embassy website, and you can view the program information there. And if you have any questions, you can send an email to fulbright@amideast.org. Here below is the link to apply. If you don't have the link to apply, if you haven't yet started an application, it's not too late. Send an email to fulbright@amideast.org. We'll be more than happy to share the link with you. And then and it's a good time, even if you have not started, and you have 20 days to fill out, complete, and submit your application. And you will be able to, as soon as you start, you will be able to work on the draft of your essays and gather your supporting documents, such as your transcript, your letters of recommendation, your CV. But it's not recommended to start in the last week, and then to procrastinate until the last minute and start today and then submit overnight. No, it's not recommended, because you will have to edit your documents over and over again and improve the quality of your application every now and then. So this note is about the IB TOEFL and GRE. It's not required, but you are encouraged to take GRE and IB TOEFL just to know your level, so you can track your level. And it's not a requirement at all, but we encourage everybody to do so. But in the end of the day, if you will be selected by the program, then there are paid vouchers for you, paid test vouchers, that we will register you for IB TOEFL and GRE in that time in October if you will be selected. So again, if you have any questions, you can call us. These are for our phone numbers for Baghdad and Erbil, and the same email address. So thanks so much, guys, for your patience. And before we go to Q&A session, I'd like to ask our Fulbright alumni and Sana Kika. Sana, do you want to add anything to the presentation?
Hi again, guys. It was a very informative session from you, Handran. Thank you for doing that. And I'm really happy that our students from Germian University are here to hear about Fulbright, and now they also have a chance to apply and maybe get maybe 1 or 2 seats. You never know. So yeah, I want to add that just for all the applicants, it's really important they take care of their application. Just as you mentioned, start on time. There's still 20 days, but I think they still have time to start and go through every slide of the application online and add what they can and be honest in their essays and be true. Also, it's very important for them and also for their scholarship. I mean, in the future, if they have the chance to obtain the scholarship, I think it's very important that they know what they want to study, choose their let's say their field of study very carefully and very thoughtfully. They might, if they had the chance to study their bachelor's in Iraq based on their degree, let's say when they were at 12th grade, now, and it was like imposed on them, the school was imposed on them and they didn't have any other chance. Now it's their chance to go and study a different field, even if it's not their bachelor's degree field. And from my experience, that's what I did. I had a bachelor's in English language and I decided to change my field and I did an international studies master's program. I also want to also emphasize that now it might be looking very, something very, very tiring or something very overwhelming, the process of application. It is almost 14 months. It will take 14 months from the day you apply and to the day that you will get your passport with the visa on it, and then you go to the state of your school. So it's like 14 months. That's what I have calculated, and it needs a lot of patience and it needs a lot of what you call it, prayers. But also you guys need to be very careful on your application and write your essays knowing what you want and without also plagiarizing. Actually, don't copy paste from websites because I have recently been reviewing a couple of essays from like friends around, and there's a lot of copy pasting plagiarism going on, and that's not acceptable. There are a lot of searching engines that you can know that this writing or this piece of writing is taken, is plagiarized. So that's not a thing to also, that's also a thing to think about and be honest in your applications. Yes, somebody can review your application to see if your thoughts are matching or to give you an extra idea, but make it your own. That's how you stand out, and always have a story. Hopefully some of you will make it to the interview stages. That's very also important. So my last advice is not to think about the lengthy process from the beginning or what will happen when you are at the States. Now it's very important for you to think about now is the application time, and I need to focus on building my application and submitting a clean and like a clean version of who I am in my application, and then think of the rest as it comes. So think of it stage by stage, and things will be fine. I wish you good luck, students from Germian University, and hopefully some of you will be Fulbrighters.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much all, Mr. Handrian and dear Fulbright scholars, Ahmed and Sana, for the informative session and the amazing pieces of advice that you shared with the prospective applicants from Germian. So, all right, we're now at the question and answer part where you can ask our guest speakers your questions. If you feel comfortable speaking, please raise your hands. You can also direct your questions via the chat box, and our guest speakers will answer the relevant questions. So feel free to ask any question that you have. So while they're preparing the questions, oh yeah, we have someone raising hand. Bahat, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. First off, I'd like to thank you for your efforts and time that you provided us to present this presentation. Thank you very much. And I had two questions. First one, to be eligible to apply, you must demonstrate a clear commitment to return to Iraq after completion of the study. How does one exactly show commitment? And my second question was, is there a certain number of applications or a limited number of students that will qualify in Iraq annually? Let's say a certain number of seats that might be taken, and it might prevent you from qualifying. Thank you.
So thanks so much, Bahat, for your questions. Regarding your first question, the interviewing panel will be deciding on that, and then your application and then your intentions will tell enough about your intentions. So overall, your application should not show any intentions that you have intentions to seek for an asylum or to apply for an immigration. So this makes you disqualified. And even if you have in the past few years, if you have applied for immigration, that it may hurt your chances for Fulbright. So regarding your second question, it depends on availability of funds and geographic representation of the candidates and the availability of the competition and the admission process. But in general, for Iraq, there are 10 to 15 seats.
Great.
I hope the answers are clear to you. And if you have any other follow-up questions by email, or you can call us on even now. If you have additional questions, feel free to ask us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Bahat, for the questions, and thank you, Serhandan, for answering the questions. Anyone else who wants to ask any questions, you may also use the chat box as well to direct your questions.
Yes. Shall I go next?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank our friends from Amideast for presenting this terrific presentation. It was very enriching and informative. Thank you all. Thank you for Mr. Handrian, and thank you for the Fulbrighters, Mr. Ahmed and Ms. Sana, I think. Thank you for sharing your experiences. It was amazing to listen to you guys. I had a question regarding publications and researches. Does it only include scientific publication, or does it include everything else? Or we have got something in during studying bachelor degree, we've got a thesis that we are doing at the end of the our study to attain the degree. Can we include that thesis as well or not? Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Niyaz Khan. Actually, it was a very good question. Many applicants will confuse between their research, their bachelor's research proposal or their research dissertation with the research objective of Fulbright. No, they're totally two different things, because your essay should not be very much. You should not be only focusing on. Yes, it is a research objective, but you are not talking about what you have done in your bachelor's, but you are talking about your future plans and what you are intending to pursue under the Fulbright program. So no, please do not include your proposal, any parts of your dissertation, but it's best if you can talk about why you would like to study a specific field of study and why you are best academic field, why you are best academic fit for that. So you should be able to convince the panel that you are a very good fit for that field of study, because there are other people competing with you, maybe selecting the same field of study. So no, and because the essay is limited to 600 words, do not remember. So even you can write 1 page or half as a maximum, or do not exceed 2 pages.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Niyaz Khan.
Thank you so much, both for Ms. Niyaz for asking that question and for Mr. Hendrian for answering the question. We will go to another Niyaz number 2. Niyaz Sabah, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, a male one. Okay, yes, we can.
The name, which is neutral, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks a lot for holding this session, which is very informative and unforgettable and even unreturnable at all. So you have mentioned about TOEFL degree. So regarding this, I have to say session, is it obligatory to have a TOEFL degree, or it is just a paving the way in order to, how to say, to be candidates in this nomination?
Thank you so much for your question. No, lack of TOEFL will not negatively affect your application. So don't worry about not having a TOEFL score at the moment, and focus on the rest of your online application. And if you will be selected and if your application is moved to the next stage, then we will be inviting you to take a TOEFL session, and we will be registering you, and the test fees will be provided by the program at that time.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you, and good luck with your application. And next one, please.
Thank you so much. I think, yeah, there's no one who has raised hands, and I don't see any questions in the chat box. And I also checked the comments on Facebook. We don't see any questions. So yeah, okay, yeah, good. We have a question in the chat box. Hello, everyone. First of all, thanks for the valuable opportunity from both organizers and guests. Here are my questions. Question number 1 goes like this. Is there an age limit? That's the first question. And the next is, to be eligible, you need to have 2 years of work experience. Should it be in the field of your bachelor degree?
Okay, so thanks so much, Jaman, for your questions. No, there's no age limit. In nowhere on the program information documents, age limit is mentioned, so there's no age limit. And to reply to your second question, and your 2 years of experience are unconditional on a condition if you are choosing the same field of study. However, if you are intending to pursue a different field of study than your bachelor's, for example, if you have studied English language and if you are intending to pursue journalism in your master's, then it's different. Because it is different from your master's, then your professional experience should be in journalism. But if you are pursuing the same field of study as your bachelor's, then your experience can be in any field. It should be only 2 years of full-time experience, and it should be after graduation.
Great, and thank you, Chairman, for the question. And we also have a comment from the Fulbright scholar, Ahmed, who has highlighted the importance of personal statement and the study objectives. Yes, we do agree. It's amazing advice from you, Ahmed, to the prospective applicants that they should concentrate on those two essays. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you so much, Ahmed, for the advice.
Well, I'm just doing the last check if we have any questions on Facebook. We don't have, and in the chat box, no. And so I think, yeah, we're done. So thank you so much. I reiterate our gratefulness to you, Amideast staff, especially Hendrian, because you were so cooperative from the beginning to organize this session for us, for the German University. And thank you so much, dear Fulbright scholars, Ahmed and Sana, for giving us your time. We really appreciate you being with us today. I hope that, and I'm sure that our attendees have benefited from all the information that you shared with us today. If you guys have any questions during the filling out the application or afterwards, you may contact the Amideast staff. And if you cannot reach out to them, you also can contact us via the Facebook page, Career Development Center of the University of Yemen, and we will forward your questions to the Amideast staff. So if you have last remarks, you may share with us. If not, we will end the session. Thank you so much again. Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much, and thank you. Special thanks
Good luck,
for
everyone.
our alumni, and thank you so much for CDC colleagues from German University. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good day. Thanks for
You too, guys.
It was great.
Thank you.
Everything was clear, and many thanks for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Have a great day. Goodbye.